What is up, guys? Viper here. Just thought I'd give a quick update video on the Essence Drain Contagion build. Things are going fairly well, I'd say. The content's getting a little bit more difficult. I'm dying a little bit more in here and there, but the build is actually feeling better. Essence Drain Contagion's feeling a little bit better, which I'm very happy about because, like I said in the previous video, it is one of my favorite builds of all time. So I thought I'd go over a little bit of what I've changed in the passive skill tree, what I'm looking forward to in the passive skill tree, and then what I'm looking for items, and just kind of the future. So I've probably got about until level 80 in this build until I really decide whether or not I'm going to push this to 90. So I definitely will have another video up with this build before too long once I get there and kind of give my final thoughts on the build. But we are level like 71. We're doing tier 1s and tier 2 maps pretty consistently. So first I want to go over the passive skill tree. In the Ascendancy, we're still at the same spot. I have gotten to the Ascendancy 2. I have not tried the Ascendancy 3 again in a day or so. I tried it twice, and I've gotten close once, but I did not get close the other time. So we will be trying that to grab ourselves this Crimson Power. I might mess around with the extra fizz damage to see how that feels as well, but you could always just respec these, right? So the plan is to go Crimson Power for our third, just to make us a little bit tankier. Because as you can see, we have spec'd out of these tank nodes and the sustain nodes here. I kind of just felt like I wanted to get it all from my gear and from the skills I was using, because there's very little in terms of what I feel like would actually affect the damage in this build on this passive skill tree, so I want to get all of it as possible. So I went ahead and spec'd out of those, and the build is still feeling fine with a couple changes that I've made that I'll talk about. So, one of the main things you'll notice is that I have gotten all of the poison nodes I was speaking of to get our Essence Drain up to 100% chance to poison. That has felt amazing. It's added another dot that will be then transferred over with Contagion. So that's been feeling great. I've also finished the Wither nodes, which this right here pretty much allows us to drop the Withering Presence skill altogether, hopefully. I haven't tried it without it yet, but it seems like it should be that way, which is very helpful. It'll give us room for another aura, probably a defensive one, and then you'll see that I've gone for more AoE. That's one of the main things. I still feel like the AoE on Contagion is still so bad that we need to invest into it. So I've gotten these nodes here, and I am traveling my way down here to grab these nodes. Just to make sure that it spreads to as many things as possible. I've also been trying to pick up or find any increased area of effect jewels for the time being. We've gotten our AoE up to 2.6 or something like that. Yeah, 2.6 meters versus its default 1.7 meters. So it's feeling a lot better in like how it spreads. So that's been feeling great. The only change that I see in the future is that I will be using some weapon set skill points to make sure to increase our detonate dead damage for whenever we're fighting rares. Basically, I'm going to be grabbing these nodes here in our offhand, which will have a fire-based wand, and we'll set it so that detonate dead is always cast with that wand, and whenever it swaps over, you'll get this right here, which also gives some area of effect, which won't really affect Contagion, but it'll affect Detonate Dead, which is nice, and also this chance to explode, dealing extra damage as fire damage, right? So that's basically all the changes that I've made to the passive skill tree. I don't know if we're going to have the points to grab this like I wanted to, and also I think I'm going to be going a pure energy shield base in the future, just to stack that as much as possible for Crimson Power. Because you want to get as much energy shield as possible so that you can gain all that extra maximum life. I've looked at some of the bases on evasion to energy shield, and the ratio doesn't look good enough for me to go ahead and spec into this. I might have to do some more calculations. Now, going to the skills, the only thing that's changed pretty much, or I'll just go over the main skills. Contagion with Unleash, Persistence, and Magnified Effect. I've also gotten my Contagion up to 20% quality. This has helped a ton because it gives you an additional 100% times multiplier to the damage. As you can see, it now says each time it has spread up to 400%. The default is 300. Getting that 20% quality gets you up to an additional 100% damage. And it's not increased, it's more. The second one is going to be Essence Drain. Like I said, we've gotten our chance to poison up to 100% with our additional 40% from the skill tree and then 60% from Envenom. We're still running Swift Affliction with Chain, just to make sure that we hit as many enemies as possible. And then Detonate Dead with Spell Echo, Corpse Conservation, and Considered Casting, just to do a little bit more damage. And the chance of being able to cast completely Spell Echo from only one corpse is nice. Then Despair, we're using Impending Doom and Heightened Curse. Impending Doom is incredible for clear. It helps add that little oomph to it. Whenever everything pops, it still spreads everything. And as far as our basic attack goes, we're just going for things that will give more enemies hit. So Wild Shards, the possibility of it doing the big arc of 8 projectiles means that it'll hit more enemies. And then Fork will also mean that it'll hit more enemies as well. And then we have a base chance of poison of 40%, so Deadly Poison is on there so that anytime that we're fighting a rare and we reapply a poison with our basic attack instead of Essence Drain, the basic attack poison will deal more damage. So it's just a way to optimize our damage. As for our defensive layers, with no Life Remnants, with no Grim Feast, we are currently at like 2k effective life pool, and we are running Vitality with Clarity just for the regen on both of those is very nice. And then we've also been running Cannibalism, which feels really great. Whenever you kill an enemy, you get 4% of your life recovered, which with ED Contagion, as soon as you start killing enemies and the contagion starts to spread, you're going to kill enemies like very, very quickly. So you're able to keep up your cast costs. We still have our Wither Totem, which Dark Effigy with Withering Touch, if you don't know, is the way to get the bosses and enemies up to max wither stacks so that you can start wailing on them with your chaos damage. We've replaced Firewall or Flame Wall with Bone Cage as like a get off me button, and then you can just kind of spam that and then roll away whenever people are getting too close to you. And then, as I said, we are running Grim Feast, and we have Herbalism in there just to give our life flasks a little extra oomph. So that cuts it on the skills. Now going over to the gear, basically you just want to cap resists. Like I've capped my resists at low. We're at like tier 1, tier 2 maps. I've capped my resists by at least 5 each on elemental, and I'm working on the chaos res next. But the important stats for this would be cast speed, spell damage, chaos damage, and then level of your chaos spell skill gems. So for example, right now we're only using a +1 level because that's all I could find. However, I did buy one that I will be able to use next level that should give us a very decent boost in damage. Where is it? Here it is. +3 level to all spell chaos gems, and it also has a better spell damage and chaos damage roll than my current one. So this one will be a huge damage boost for us, and it'll start feeling a lot better because of the increased levels of those spell skill gems. Now, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover with this build. I'll put on some gameplay after this of the build going through like level 1, level 2 maps, just showing how the build plays. I don't think I'm going to talk over it, but I will just go over the rotation right now for you. So basically you're just going to kite a bunch of enemies around until you get a good group. You're going to curse, you're going to essence drain, and then let it fork to a couple, or let it chain to another enemy, and then you're going to contagion one of those enemies that you saw get hit. And then you just kind of wait around for it to kill them, or what you could do is throw in a couple of auto attacks and it should kill them, and then the contagion will start spreading. After it kills the first enemy, you can kind of just start running along to the next pack because it starts doing more damage. Therefore, the second enemy will die, the third enemy will die, and then after the fourth enemy dies, that's when you're at your max damage that will spread, and you want to be at your next pack so that you continue to spread the damage. But yeah, that's basically all that this build, I have planned for this build, and I hope you guys are enjoying PoE 2. I have been, and let me know if you try this out, and if you find any upgrades or anything, if you're having any problems, please leave it in the comments, and I'll try to address them. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out. It ran out. Oh no, there it is. It's coming. It continues. It's working. It's working. Oh shit, bad guy. Fuck you.